Welcome to Mental Health, a Crisis in Our Time. My name is Ann Bergen. I'm the host of this series of programs with the intention of keeping the focus on the epidemic of mental health in our country. It's not going away. It's only getting worse. And we know from previous programming that mental health issues impact all ages, all socioeconomic levels, across the entire country and the world. But today I wanted the focus to be on senior citizens. I feel particularly sad because I see too often that seniors are portrayed on television or in social media as doddering. They're stripped of dignity and respect. They're often treated in a childlike way. And not much attention is paid to the incredible wisdom that comes from experience and the sacrifices that they made along the way to create the next generation. But the truth is, in senior citizens, there are kind of two groups. There's one group they're living with memory issues and unprecedented levels of anxiety and depression. And we know that alcoholism rates are rising, living with physical impairments, and too many are forced to be confined to nursing homes, which are, in today's world, are incredibly understaffed. But then there's another subset of seniors. They're the ones who are the social activists. They're vital, they're alive, they vote, they contribute, and they're seeking meaning and purpose in their lives. Well, my guest today believes that all seniors deserve quality care and respect, that there's a way of bringing these two subsets of seniors together to meet so many needs and making sure that they are treated with dignity and respect. So he came across a solution that he wanted to make his life's work. And so today I welcome Mithun Pasham, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for coming. And I had the honor and privilege of meeting you not long ago and just having a conversation and listening to your passion and the care that you felt toward senior citizens and what you want to do with your life. So before you start talking about the work that you're doing now, can you kind of tell us about your journey that led up to seniors helping seniors, this group that you're part of, that you're owner and director of? Can you tell us a little bit about the journey that got you here?
Absolutely. Thank you, Anne. As Anne said, I'm Mithun Pasham, and I would first want to say thank you for the whole team of Franklin TV for bringing me here. It's an absolute honor to be here, and I think there's a great team out here who are doing an absolute job to help out the community in Franklin. So going back to your question, Anne, so how I ended up with seniors helping seniors. So it's been a great ride so far, my journey in United States. I have come to United States to pursue my master's degree back in 2008. So I went to school at Texas Tech University, got my master's degree in biotechnology, and after my degree, I wanted to do some research, and I wanted to research about few drugs which can help the society in curing some diseases. So that's how my initial phase of research started, and I identified to find some target molecules for type 1 diabetes. So this was back in Texas at one of the health schools over there. And after that, I wanted to be in a more thriving cities where science is more thriving. And that's how I ended up in one of the labs in Boston at the Harvard Medical School. So that was a pretty big lab, and I managed about 20 to 25 postdocs from all around the corner of the world. And it was really challenging. I met very different personalities coming from all around parts of the world. But that gave me an opportunity how to deal with people and how people look at tackling problems. So at that point of time, I developed some great skills such as problem solving and thinking problems as how in other perspectives. And that is something which I enjoyed doing that. And at the same time, I also had my research projects which were going at the sideways. So being in that lab, exposed to various cutting edge technologies, boosted my profile, and I really wanted to do something beyond that. But at the same time, I also wanted to get a taste of corporate life. And that's when, after working 7 years at the medical school lab at the Harvard, I switched my career into the corporate world. So I started off working at few biotech startups as a field application scientist. And at those roles as well, my job was to help out customers, because that always gave me the sense of satisfaction in my job. So problem solving, very customer centric, all these skills became innate in me, and it became to the core of my abilities as well. So I worked as a field application scientist for about 4 to 5 years, and I enjoyed doing that. I was in the field of genomics, again, sequencing people's DNA, trying to identify.
I know.
Yeah. So trying to find the target mutations and how that research can help out big pharma companies to design drugs targeting those mutations. So end of the day, I always wanted to find something for people, do something useful that can benefit in some form in their life. So all this led to my research into what else can I do in this world until I live here. And the corporate world has become too much on me. There was too much stress, and there was always where you have to prove yourself again and again and again. Then I questioned myself back in 2024 October, and I asked myself, I think this is the time. If not now, this can't happen again. So that's when I decided to quit my job and started exploring things where I could help out the society. And personally as well, I couldn't do much to my grandparents because of the distance factor.
Because they were in India.
They were in India. And I felt really guilty about it, in spite of what they have done for me when I was a child, helped out my family, they took care of me. So that guilt always weighed on my heart. And I eventually thought, I think this is the population which I want to help out. So now that I have decided to stay here, and I looked into the senior care sector, and I have seen that there is a big population of seniors who need desperate help.
Are you kidding me? Of course, yeah.
So that's how I explored what kind of services can I offer. So when I looked online and I inquired with a lot of people out there, I felt that in-home non-medical care services is something which people are looking for.
Can you talk a little bit about, just so people understand the level of need? I think that's really important, that when you look at the struggles that a number of seniors are living with in terms of the issues that they're dealing with, in addition to like sort of memory issues and physical ailments, and trying to deal with the loss of loved ones. And can you speak to sort of, when you look at the enormity of the needs of our seniors, can you just, I touched on it, but can you elaborate on the kind of the things that you see need to be addressed?
Absolutely. The biggest need that needs to be addressed for seniors right now is health and independence.
Yes.
So you touched upon some factors which make them restricted to doing some daily activity livings, right? So every senior wants what every other person also is expecting in this world: dignity, independence, and proper healthcare, right? I know we have a good healthcare system, but today seniors need something beyond that healthcare system, right? So there are so many seniors out there in the community who still can't afford going to assisted living facilities or nursing homes, right? What about their situation? How will they deal with their personal needs? And what if somebody is living completely lonely at home and all they need is some social engagement? So to target those population of seniors who are unable to afford financially going to these fancy places and still yet to want to have that social engagement, that's where we step in as seniors, helping seniors, provide them that companionship aspect of life. And if there is any physical restrictions, limitations that they are still not able to do, that also can be addressed through our services. So just for example, just hypothetically, say somebody loses their spouse and all the first few years are really, really sorrowful for them and they really feel depressed and lonely. What if you would have sent somebody, as other senior, who has just retired and who just wants to have a fun time with somebody, having some conversations? If I send that senior to that person who is sitting alone at home, think about the companionship, think about the level of engagement they would get. They would start playing games, they would do some social activities, go out for lunches or any kind of board games, right? It keeps them busy, both for the person who has retired and also the person who's been suffering with the loss of their dear one, right? So because ultimately what happens is loneliness is the root factor for dementia and Alzheimer's.
That has to be stressed so loudly and clearly.
Exactly.
It is that isolation.
Isolation.
And the two things you hit on is the fact that, where am I going with that? I got to stop for a second. Okay. My mind I just lost where I was going. It was a good point. Give me 1 second, Chris. No, I knew exactly where I was going, and then all of a sudden my mind went blank. Loneliness and isolation. See, I'm having a senior moment.
I know, you're fine.
Wait a second, I had this 2 issues we were talking about.
Cognitive decline or depression?
Yeah, cognitive decline. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, I'm going to go back. But what people not realizing is that the isolation and the loneliness is that, the fact is that when you look at the suicide rate, that the largest suicide rate is men over 85, the largest demographic, because it's that loneliness, and then as you said, it leads to the cognitive decline, right? So that's that's the part I wanted you to stress. I lost my train of thought there, but it's really just it's incredibly important that that you stress that. So I appreciate that. Thank you, because yeah,
exactly. So loneliness is the driving cause for all this downstream diseases, right? It starts off with cognitive decline, and then eventually you see signs of dementia, and there are several stages of dementia. Once that gets aggravated to the last stage, and people eventually fall into the Alzheimer's category. So why do you want to end up at that stage when you know that it can be healed to some extent by providing these kind of services? Get some engagement going, get that brain keep on being active. So once you have that, and in spite of that, if you feel that you're going into that phase, but at least there's somebody around you who has been interacting with you for so long, has traveled a little bit of journey with you, they can recognize those early signs of dementia, and then the need can be addressed based on the level of the care that's needed. So,
but you're absolutely right. It's sort of recognizing as soon as those early signs are to prevent the cognitive decline, right?
Exactly.
And it's the other thing too I was mentioning to you before is that also what ends up happening is people have difficulty, and these are people I know, just even managing their day-to-day, managing medical appointments and managing transportation and arranging for all those kinds of things. Can you speak a little bit about that need as well?
Exactly. So as a company here, Seniors Helping Seniors, it's a franchise, and the company existed it started off in 1998 in Pennsylvania. So this was started off by a lady named Kiran Yakub.
I read about that, yes.
She worked for Mother Teresa's organization for 14 years.
I wanted you to stress that because I said that's how it began, right?
That's how it began, the journey, And that's how I was attracted to their story. And every folk I engaged from the headquarter office in Pennsylvania are so humble, and their only mission is to serve as many seniors as possible. And it's all seniors within their company. So I really, really loved with the people whom I interacted, and I decided that these are the folks I want to partner with.
So here's my question, because what I see too a lot of is so many people I know just in the retirement phase of life, and they're anxious to keep giving, and they want to. So the fact that you're addressing that need as well. So one of the things I was going to ask you as we're going forward now in this discussion is that there are all those people out there who want to help. how would they how do they approach you or find you, or how do you find them? How does it work?
Yeah.
So that these people who are anxious to give back, many of them are going helping with the food pantry, and they're looking for in our neighbor area, the Safe Coalition. They're anxious to get to help, but this is a huge need. So how would they access this?
Absolutely. So I'm doing my best to spread the awareness
Yes.
of my services to folks around in the community, and I think the senior centers was the best
There you go, of
best way
course.
for me to do, and there has been a lot of engagement coming out from senior centers. So I've touched upon all the senior centers within my territories, and I'm trying to get some time on their calendars
Yes.
to put up a booth and talk about my services to them. So I have done a couple of towns here, and I've got a great response. People have, in fact, wanting to give caregiving services. So that's one medium of channel where people can reach out to us. And the other way they could also reach out to us is we have a website where people can put in some inquiry and ask if they're willing to work or not. And if there's two options of inquiry. One, people who need care. One, and the other one is people who want to offer services.
Both.
Yeah, so you could happily hop onto our website. It's www.shsfranklinbrockton.com. So you could find us there. Facebook is one other way to find us. Feel free to ping us on Facebook. Our team will reach out to you and see what exactly you're looking for. Or feel direct. Best way is to pick up the phone and call us at 508-595-8939.
All right, so let's say that I am in need of services. Let's say I'm looking for someone I know, a senior citizen that I know needs this help.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the cost to me, to have this service come into my home, so that, because you pointed out, and this is the biggest need, I think, one of the biggest needs is the haves and the have-nots.
Mm-hmm.
It's those who, sure, there are a handful of people who can afford the luxurious assisted living places, but most cannot.
Yeah.
And even nursing homes become exorbitant, in terms of the cost. So I need this help, but I have limited means. I'm on a restricted income. Can you speak to the cost and the details like that? So,
absolutely. So I'll also touch upon what services that we offer.
Yes, that would be helpful as well. Yeah.
Our primary goal is to address services such as companionship, medical transportations, doctor appointments, running errands such as taking seniors to groceries or any kind of shopping if they're interested with, medicational reminders, and beyond that we also offer personal care assistance such as assisting with their ADLs. ADLs by meaning I mean it's daily activities of livings. So there are 6 ADLs. So we also provide care if people need some assistance while feeding, bathing, dressing, walking, transportation. So yeah, if anybody is looking for those also we offer. So at the moment I don't have a variation of pricings for different kind of services.
Got it.
I have started off with a flat rate of $40 per hour, and the minimum shift anybody can ask for is also 2 hours.
2 hours, okay.
So the least is 2 hours, and in a day, and it could be for a whole week as well.
Sure.
Most of the competitors in the market, they also have a minimum for the week. I am flexible on that side of things, and I don't have that. So the least is 2 hours, and the max is up to the need. It can be 24 hours as well.
Which is reasonable in terms of what the...
Exactly. So I'm actually priced lesser than the market here. So since I just wanted to create that awareness that there are services like this where people can use, because when I have interacted with so many seniors here in the communities and in the neighboring towns, most of the folks don't know that there's something like this.
That's right. That's why to me, this is important. The more that you're out here telling people about it.
Yeah. My goal here in Franklin Town is to help out the seniors, make them aware that there is something like this where you could benefit from. And I'm not here to make money or anything like
right.
that. Money could be a byproduct of the services, but please, please, please look into this. If not me, there are other folks. Shop around, see what fits best for you financially and also service-wise. But what I can say from my side is you will absolutely have my interaction. I come along with the service. There's an absolute zero corporate structure with my company. We are very humble and very down-to-earth people here, and we want to keep that relationship engaged, both from the client side and also the caregiver side, because it's a three-way team which we work with here. So it's what I'm here is to build relationships, period. Yeah.
But when you spoke of it too, and I think we had talked briefly about the toll sometimes on the caregiver, and I've watched it with too many people, and for them to know, not to feel guilty that they can't do it alone. You know, that it's okay to reach out and to say, you know what,
absolutely,
that and they need respite, like you were saying. They need that break sometimes, right? And it gives them that opportunity, because then they're fresh and they can, because otherwise their mental health will decline, and, you know, cognitive.
Exactly.
Right? All
Yep,
of that.
Yep.
Right.
I'll share an interesting stat in that. And so people who are not able to afford these services, right? So usually rely on family members, and those family members, majority are daughters or spouses. Imagine handling the kids and keeping up with your career and all other personal things which you do in your life, right? And the other factor to consider in this is all this help from family members is unpaid. It has been reported that last year there has been $600 billion of unpaid caregiving services that's happening. Think about the burn down that happens to the family members, right?
You know, and it's absolutely true. The mental health of the family members.
Exactly. It's not only, you won't be doing that 100% efficient job to your parents or to the seniors whom you're giving service, and at the same time you restrict your personal life, and your it interferes with your personal life, with your family and all the relationships, right? So it's an absolute need to provide respite to them. So one opportunity is reaching out to us, asking if there are some caregivers who can give me a break during the weekend at least.
Yeah.
So that's where we can help out those caregivers, family caregivers, with some respite services.
So it seems to me that one of the big things is really keep getting the message out about your work,
exactly.
Right? Just to, you know, to make people in the community aware, because you touched on it when you spoke about finding your own passion. It was it's more than about just making money. It's about finding meaning and purpose.
Yes,
and we know that
exactly.
the fundamental quality or the associated with happiness is life is finding that meaning and purpose. So these people who are these active seniors that want to help and be out there and contribute, finding their meaning and purpose. So it really is, it's an incredible way.
It's a great idea.
Isn't
it's
it
a great
really?
idea. Amazing idea. That's the sole reason why I want to, I joined hands with them.
No, is there anything, I want to make sure that I haven't left anything out that you want to share, you know, today, because I, you know, meander off a bit, but that's important for the people to know, that you want to make sure before we end this that you've let people know.
No, it's absolutely, I mean, we touched upon the most important things, like identifying what is the need and reaching out to the people who provide these services.
Right.
So don't be ashamed that you are going through some tough phase. Being lonely is not a disease. If you feel lonely and depressed at home, please do call us. We can offer some kind of help that can keep you engaged and have some social interaction with somebody else. Or the other thing which I'm also planning, Anne, is senior centers are very overwhelmed with the amount of services that they offer. So I have this idea of doing a day trips. Try to group up people, about like 6 to 10 seniors, pick them up from their homes, take them out to a walk in the park. After the walk, go out, have lunch session, and then come sit somewhere, play some card games, and then drop them off back at home. So there are people who do this. They are called as day trippers.
It's amazing.
So they keep them engaged. They keep it very interactive, and it's really, really beneficial from this. And I want to I want to start these also. Right now I'm very new, and first thing is I want to make sure people understand what exactly I'm offering.
Yeah, exactly.
And once if you want, I can come talk to you and see what kind of exact services you need. Then we can draft up a care plan, and then if you're interested or not, then we can take it from there.
And I just want to conclude just by saying that the fact that this attention is being paid to the seniors, it's just, to me, and I'm going to reiterate, it's just heartbreaking to see that these people who have worked so hard, and then we're watching them, sheltered and shoveled away in nursing homes and lonely and isolated, and it's just the fact that you're addressing this. It's very important. So I really appreciate your coming today and sharing that with us. And again, I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and also just always put in a plug for Cable Access TV, which is so important in our local communities, and what it does to bring a community together and to share important information about what's happening in our world today. So again, I want to thank you all for joining us. Thank my special guest today. Thank you.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors, good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.